Hello and welcome. I'm Kevin McElvaney, Editor-in-Chief of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. Thank you for joining us here for our first ever virtual face-off. I'd like to welcome my guests. First and foremost, the challenger, the number one contender sanctioned by PWI, Masha Slamovich. Welcome, Masha. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. And of course, then we also have the champion, the reigning and defending IWTV Independent Wrestling World Champion.
World, that's right. That's what I was waiting on. World Champion AC Mack.
You know, the last time I talked to you, AC, it was for the Pro Wrestling Illustrated podcast.
Hold on. You got to thank me for being on the show as well. You thank Masha.
Did I not thank you?
You did not thank me. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
But thank you for being.
Welcome. You're welcome.
You know, let's just dive into this. It's a virtual face-off. It's not about me. It's not about me thanking or not thanking anybody. But Masha, let's start with you as the challenger. You're coming into some would say antagonistic environment here. We'll get to that. But the first thing I really want to talk about, this elephant in the room, back at Restival, you had a match with Anthony Henry, and then AC interjected himself into that match and it ended in a no decision. So how are you feeling going into this and challenging him?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's been dwelling on my mind, well, ever since the beginning of Restival. You know, I got busy the rest of Restival winning my matches. So I put it to the back of my mind for now, but I don't see why you had to get involved in a perfectly good, competitive, professional wrestling match and stick your nose in business where it doesn't belong. You know, for example, the way you butted in and took the title from the North.
Butted in? I earned my championship. I earned my championship title shot. You know how long it took me for you guys to actually finally grant the match? So yeah, I butted in on your match. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to see that. They named me number one contender. I finally get up there and Alex Shelley is nowhere to be found. Why is that? Why is that?
Somehow that just isn't my problem, though. Alex Shelley wasn't in my match. He had nothing to do with me, and neither did you, but you interjected yourself. So now you're going to have to pay the price, because now that you're not the number one competitor, or I am.
Yeah, that's a fair point, AC. And with all due respect, you did insert yourself into that match. You could have come out probably any point during the show. Why that match? Is there something personal going on here?
I chose the match that probably had the most attention on it. I chose the match that once, Shelley couldn't make it, whoever his replacement was, I wanted to make sure that I jumped in on that one. It just so happened to be you, Masha. At one point, I had no problem with you. Now, obviously, there's something, but, back then you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You got put in a match where Alex Shelley was supposed to be. So now that he's gone, I guess you by default just become the target. I don't know what to tell you. You weren't really the important factor in that piece. The piece was me coming out and airing out my grievances. And that's what I was able to do. So I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, you actually just said it yourself. You had to come out in the match that had the most attention, and that required me being in it. So you wanted attention? You got it. I'm coming right to your front door, right for that title. So I hope you're ready, because you chose the wrong match. You're the one who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't you remember when I dropped you on your head?
You know what? You're right. I owe you a receipt. That's for sure. So yes, you come to my front door. You do whatever you need to do to try to take my world championship away. And I will gladly drop you on your head as well. How about that? Eye for an eye.
We're head for a head in this case.
Promises that you intend to keep, all right?
Okay.
Well. All right, this is getting a little bit heated now. Thank you to everyone who's joined us again. This is the virtual face-off, the IWTV World Championship match. It's going to be happening at the Movement Begins, Roger Spencer Community Center, also streaming live on IWTV. AC Mack, IWTV World Champion.
Yes.
defending this in the same building where you won that championship. It was a big emotional moment for you.
Yes.
But I got to be honest, AC, as we were all thrilled for you at PWI, really just the independent wrestling community at large. But here you're talking kind of like sideways at Masha, who's the number one contender, who's earned that place, and she's coming into your backyard. Do you think you're underestimating your challenger a little bit here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm underestimating her. I just know what I bring to the table. It's about time that we stop doubting AC Mack. How many times do I have to keep my promises? How many times do I have to prove you guys wrong? I'm not the underdog here. I'm not. It's not me that has to survive. It's not me that has to find a way. I'm the champion now. And not only am I champion, but you coming in my backyard. If anything, everything is stacked against her. So I'm good. I'm not worried. I'm not underestimating her. I think she's underestimating me. That's where the problem lies.
Okay. Masha, what do you have to say to that?
Well, what I have to say is simple. It doesn't matter what hometown, city, ring I'm in. I'm in a different city. I'm in a different country, in a different state multiple times a week. And no matter where I go, I come home with a win. That title is the international. It's the world championship. And I only see one of us who's traveled around the world and won. So I really think that belt really belongs on my waist over yours, regardless of where you defend it. I hope you've been studying my work, but honestly, there's nothing that can prepare you.
I'm going to tell you what I told Alex Shelley. I'm going to tell you what I told the people. When you come into my backyard, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you don't leave snatching my baby. It just is what it is. You can win in every single country that this globe has to offer. I don't care. Where you won't win is Atlanta, Georgia. That's where you won't win. Who you won't win against is AC Mack for this world championship. So I'm happy you're confident. I want you to bring it. We're gonna have some fun, but you're walking away the loser, and I need you to know that.
If you're
coming actually IWTV,
the wrong place is all I'm gonna say. Because this ain't here for a good time. This ain't gonna be fun when we get in those ropes and you have to face me.
No.
And the talk ain't through Zoom and it's face to face. Let's see who's gonna be smiling.
Okay.
All right. I had a feeling this was going to get a little heated. Any moderator in any debate anywhere will be spoken over, and I accept that. You're both excited, and I'm looking forward to the match. We have a comment here from IWTV itself. The entity has come to life, and it's saying it's specifically addressing Masha, which we could possibly look at this as a slight, but tonight is the Masked Wrestler. That right after this on IWTV. Everybody be sure and tune in. If you win the championship this Friday from AC, and you're defending it against AC, we'll give you a chance after this.
What kind of question?
And you're defending it against the winner of the Masked Wrestler. What stipulation would you hope the judges choose for that match? A lot of ifs.
We all know Masha is a huge fan of violence. So I'm tired of people running their mouths and then running away. So let's see who can survive in a dog collar match where they can't run and they can't hide. And all they can do is just beg for forgiveness, which they're not going to get. They're not going to get any mercy, much like yourself.
First of all, IWTV, can they see this right now? How disrespectful is that? How disrespectful is that you would ask the challenger if she's champion by then? I'm telling you right now, she won't be. I'm telling you right now, she won't be champion. That question should be directed to me. And you want to know what match I want to have? I want to have a singles match. I want to have a regular match because all that extra crap ain't necessary. All this violence she's talking about ain't necessary. I'm not a deathmatch wrestler. I'm just a wrestler. So that's what match we're going to have because I'm going to be champion. We're going to have a singles match. I don't care what the judges want. I don't don't care what Masha wants. She can have all the dog collar matches she wants in her dreams, I guess.
But
Not for this
IWTV is
championship.
asking what I would do if I was champion because they're sensible enough to know what's coming your way.
Oh my gosh, sensible. That's
Your
not the
own
word I would have
people
used.
don't believe in their champion. Just look at the comment section.
I don't have to look at any comment section. I make my own comment section. And my comment section says that AC Mack is retaining the world championship.
We'll have to see about that.
I mean, we have people pulling for both of you here. IWTV did step in and say, same question, champ. Tried to make it right. So take that however you will. AC,
they tried to make it right. They asked her first. Where's my phone? You wait till this is over. I'm calling IWTV immediately. Immediately. How dare they try to embarrass the champion like that?
Let the record show I'm just the moderator. I read the question as written off the screen. Here's a comment. So apparently Masha cannot see all the comments, and that's probably true because I haven't been putting them all up on the screen, but there are a lot of people supporting AC here as well. This is going to be a really exciting match. One thing I'd like to ask both of you, because it's relevant. One of you is going to be walking out with that IWTV World title belt wrapped around your waist, over your shoulder. And when you do that, you're going to be defending that, presumably, against Matt Mikowski at some point, who was leapfrogged in this whole scenario. Was number one contender, no longer is. So we'll start with Masha. If you win the championship, will you defend willingly against Matt Mikowski?
I'll defend against Matt Mikowski. I'll defend against the whole Beyond roster. Hell, I'll defend against anybody who wants to step into the ring with me. It doesn't matter. And for the record, I've never lost to Matt Mikowski because the referee decided to stop the match and I wasn't done.
AC, same question.
Sounds like an excuse to me. Matt Mikowski or whoever, like she said, the whole Beyond roster, it doesn't matter. However, I've made it perfectly clear. Whoever challenged for this championship has to come down south. You have to meet me in my backyard. That's all that I ask. I don't care who it is. I don't care. It could be Matt Mikowski or whoever else. But they're going to meet me here. They will fly down here and come see me. I'm not going up there for title defenses. No more. No.
Or is it just sounding like you need every advantage you can get?
Okay. You and everybody else up north, y'all have the same excuse. The same excuse when really you're missing the entire narrative and what I'm trying to do for us down here. We're tired of being overlooked by people like you. Are you nice? Yeah, you're okay. I've seen your work. You do pretty fine for yourself, and the rest of you guys do as well. However, you're overlooking the greatness that is down here. So until you recognize it, until you acknowledge it, this championship is going to look mighty pretty down south, period.
You know, we're in a business where you don't have to recognize things. You have to earn things. So how about we all stop complaining about what should be and what you deserve? If you're overlooked, work harder. Don't be seen. Don't be overlooked. Come on. Your work should speak for itself, not your Twitter fingers.
Well, it will have no choice now. It will have no choice. Yes, I work hard, and I work hard down here. Come see me.
As I will.
So an interesting wrinkle here, too, is that uncharted territory, of course, because ACU retained the championship against Will Nightingale. We'll be headed down south. So basically, whichever one of you wins this match, you'll be looking at presumably defending the belt down south. Masha, if you're in this scenario where, you're on uncharted territory, you're in the south defending it, is there anywhere that the belt maybe hasn't been? You mentioned Beyond, it's been there plenty. That's AC does a fair.
Trust me, we know.
Masha, if you have the belt, where do you take it?
Everywhere. And actually, I'll most likely make it a real international championship, and I'll just take it on the road with me as I usually do. Since I can provide that kind of showing around the world for the belt, and some of us cannot.
AC, what about
Some
you?
of us refuse. Some of us refuse.
And those
Some
sound
of
like
us,
excuses.
no, it's not an excuse. It's an agenda. It's us fighting back. It's us finally not being just forgotten about again. So you can say what you want. You can talk about the world as a whole and how pretty it is and say, oh, I'm going to take this belt everywhere. I'm going to be a fighting champion. That's fine. I'll be a fighting champion. But the whole world is going to have to come to me. Period.
I honestly don't even know why we're doing this when you're only going to be champion for 2 more days. So
that's what you think. That's what you would apparently, like the moderator said, Kevin said here in the comments, that's what everybody thinks. That's not what I think. I spit facts each and every time.
You're entitled to your opinion. You're also entitled to be wrong.
I keep my promises.
I mean, isn't there something to be said for eventually going and taking this belt abroad, though, AC? I mean, like, at a certain point, say you have this massive years-long reign with this belt, which nobody's managed more than a year yet. Warhorse was close. He was more than a year. I should say more than 2 years. But at some point, do you break your own rule? Do you go defend this somewhere else? Or is it really like you're going to make everyone from all corners of the earth come to you?
It depends on the scene. It depends on how much change we can accomplish. So if the issue is no longer an issue where the South is getting overlooked, then maybe I'll think about changing the rules. And don't get it twisted. I don't mind going overseas. It's the title defenses that I specifically have instructions for. I will go wherever with the belt. But if they want an actual shot at it, they come here. That's how this works. Will that change? I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you on that. But as of right now, it stands. My rule stands. I'm the world champion. I call the shots. Not IWTV, not your bosses at PWI, but AC Mack.
All right. Well, we've got The Masked Wrestler, the new episode coming up on IWTV in just a few minutes. And of course, make sure to check out the Pro Wrestling Vibe show later on tonight that will be raising money for Trans Texas. That's very much worth your time. That's at 10 o'clock after Dynamite. The Bald Monkeys podcast asks if you will be flown Delta around the world, AC. I don't know if that's the case.
There is no other option.
All right. So again, we do have to wrap up, but I would like to give each of you the opportunity to make some closing statements briefly. Let's flip the script here. Let's start with the champ, AC. Final words to your challenger, Masha Slamovich, ahead of the movement begins this Friday.
Just so you know, you should always start with the champion. I've basically said all that I have to say, but I do want to reiterate that this is a movement. That's the name of the show. The movement begins. It's not just something that we're putting on a tagline. This is real. This is real, Masha. You are a great wrestler, but you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm the world champion. I will continue to be the world champion, and I will continue to make sure that this movement is seen and heard, and that the South is equal, or if not better, than the North.
All right, Masha, final words for the champion, AC Mack, as you go in to challenge him for that world title on Friday.
Well, gotta say I appreciate the confidence, but I'm going to have fun doing to you what I did at Restival. That's it. You can't continue living your delusions. You can continue saying it's going to be a movement, but I'm going to be the roadblock that you trip over, that you run into, get your neck broken. I'm going to leave you lying there and take the belt back home where it belongs.
All right. Strong words from the champ and from the challenger. Folks, thanks for joining us here tonight. Friday night, the Rogers Spencer Community Center, same building, again, where AC won the championship to begin with. Doors at 6:30, 7:30 bell time. But if you're not local, you can watch it on IWTV. Be streaming live. Make sure you tune in. Thank you both for joining me here. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you again soon.
You're welcome.